In October 2022, Trevor Milton, the founder of Nikola Motors, was found guilty of 1 count of securities fraud and 2 counts of wire fraud. His sentencing is set to take place in November of 2023. Before then, I wanted to look back and see how we got here. Why is a billionaire founder facing up to 20 to 25 years in prison? And what has Nikola Motors been up to since Trevor resigned back in 2020? But first, I just want to say that this is not my normal content. I'm trying something new here. If you have watched me before, you know I normally build lights. I promise I'm still going to be making the custom lighting how-to videos and the custom lighting build videos, but I wanted to try something new with this format, with something else that I was interested in, which is business, and specifically automotive businesses, and this was just a fascinating case. If you are new here, I would really appreciate subscribe. I'm really close to 10,000 subscribers. Trevor was born in 1982 in Utah. The first business he started is called St. George Security and Alarms. So St. George Security and Alarms is obviously a home security company that he started right out of college. He dropped out to start that business. He ends up selling that business for around $300,000. But even that early on, with that very first business that he sold, there was already a little bit of controversy. Trevor allegedly overpromised how much the security business could help the buyer. He also allegedly did not tell his business partner how much the sale was worth.
Hear about those 2 failures and 2 successes before Nikola.
Yeah, I mean, so this is my 5th company. I'll start out. The very first was an alarm company, and we did a lot of video surveillance and alarms. And this is back when knocking on doors was just beginning, you know, the whole door-to-door thing back in the early 2000s. And I built that company up, and within about a year or 2, I had sold it for almost $2 million.
That makes me laugh every time. The knocking on doors started in the early 2000s. I mean, people have been door-to-door salespeople since there have been doors. So it looks like he starts this company called Nikola Motors back in 2009. Upillar.com is advertised as a online classified advertising site, listed as a place for dealerships to list as many cars as they want for a flat $750 a year fee. According to the SEC, he actually raised about $2 million for Upillar.com. And at some point, it goes from Upillar Motors to just Upillar.com, which Trevor is claiming to be an Amazon competitor. Claims that the failures came from the business being in Utah and not being in Silicon Valley, therefore not having the access to any sort of venture capital or any sort of investment that would be needed for a company like that, even though he did get $2 million.
A company called Upillar.com that was way ahead of its time, actually. If I was not in Utah, and if I would have been in Silicon Valley, we probably would have been what Amazon is today.
And it looks like Upillar.com just kind of slowly, quietly shut down. After Upillar.com, Trevor started a company called DHybrid Inc. The idea was to retrofit diesel trucks to run on natural gas. Despite not having any engineering background at all, he does press forward with DHybrid Inc. and ends up getting a swift trucking investment of $2 million. The deal would start with 10 trucks converted to natural gas, and then later on 800 trucks. Out of the first 10 that were set to be delivered, only 5 ended up getting delivered, and they had major issues, specifically major engine issues. And unfortunately, Trevor was burning through the investor money pretty quickly. A large portion of it was spent on personal expenses. Since they only delivered 5 trucks, Swift Trucking would end up suing DHybrid Inc. The lawsuit boils down to the trucks not working, and some company executives misappropriated capital for personal use. After DHybrid Inc. started getting into some legal trouble, Trevor attempts to sell the business, but no one wants to buy a business that has all of these legal issues. So him and his dad end up creating a brand new business, DHybrid Systems, so that they could get rid of the legal issues, but still have the DHybrid name and all of the IP that DHybrid had before. And it works. DHybrid Systems ends up selling to Worthington Industries for close to $16 million. So he did it. He got rid of DHybrid Systems. It's no longer in his control. And what does he do instead of just kicking back with a couple million and chilling for a little bit? He immediately starts Nikola Motors. In 2016, Nikola Motors announces the Nikola 1, which is a semi-truck that is designed to run completely on natural gas. That's wrong. It was a hybrid. It's mostly electric, but has a natural gas turbine that charges the battery. Sounds pretty familiar. This dude loves natural gas. In the original announcement, Nikola claimed that the truck would be able to travel around 1,000 miles in between fill-ups, and that they would be unveiling the car later that year in 2016. Shortly after announcing the truck to the world, Nikola starts taking on pre-orders for the Nikola 1. Before even showing any vehicle or anything about the truck, they were able to secure 7,000 pre-orders, which was equivalent to about $2.3 billion of pre-sale. But a few weeks after securing all of those pre-sales, Nikola announces that they are switching from a natural gas fuel cell to a hydrogen electric fuel cell. Nikola claimed that the truck would still be emission-free, but at this point, people are still excited. They can't wait to see the truck unveiled later in 2016. As crazy as it sounded for Nikola to completely change up the type of fuel that they would be using to power the Nikola 1, they still said that the truck would be ready, that a prototype truck would be ready for the show in late 2016. Trevor gets on stage and unveils the Nikola 1, claiming that the truck is completely good to go and that it can drive under its own power on and off the stage. But it was later reported that that was not the case. The truck was not able to drive under its own power, and it was missing several key components that would turn the truck on. So to get the truck to look like it was working, to get the truck to look like it was on stage, they had a cable underneath the truck that plugged it into power. The main part of the truck that would work with the main power being plugged in underneath the stage is things like lights and stuff on the inside, like the touchscreens and stuff. But at the time, no one knew that, and they hit it really well. So after the event, everyone was very excited about the Nikola 1. So many people love the truck that they started being able to get funding and started to partner with several important companies. After the event and after the investment and partnerships come along, some time has passed and people start to get a little bit antsy. They want to know an update on the truck. When is it potentially coming out? And how is it looking now since they've had some time to work on it? So Nikola creates a video. Nikola 1 in motion. Video of the truck actually driving under its own power is what it looked like. But Nikola had several engineers and filmmakers push the truck down a hill and adjust the footage to make it look like the truck was just driving under its own power. Of course, everyone had to sign NDAs. But at the time, people don't know that the video is fake. Everyone loves it. The truck looks really good. It's driving. So that buys him a little bit more time. Flash forward to 2020, Nikola Motors is able to make a deal with GM. The deal was valued at about $2 billion, would give GM an 11% stake in Nikola Motors, but GM did have to engineer and produce the Nikola Badger, which was their pickup truck. But 2 days after that deal goes through, Hindenburg Research, an investment group that focuses on short selling, releases a bombshell paper on Nikola Motors. The report had revealed a lot of the lies that Trevor was telling investors and telling the public over the years. It didn't help that Bloomberg and the Financial Times were able to verify some of the claims that were in the report. A lawsuit is quickly filed by the shareholders. And that brings us back to October 2022, where a jury found Trevor guilty of 1 count of securities fraud and 2 counts of wire fraud. There hasn't been much news about Nikola Motors since then until about recently, when I stumbled across several of their YouTube videos where they're showing the truck actually driving. Well, actually, I found this YouTube channel called The Fast Lane Truck. They had a test drive video found that, then I went over to the Nikola YouTube channel. It looks like the company was able to move on without him and actually create a truck. They're currently offering 2 different trucks, a hydrogen electric truck and a fully electric truck. Both are called Trey. It's Trey FCEV and Trey BEV. Nikola says that deliveries of the fuel cell electric truck will start in Q4 of this year, 2023, but as of recording this video, I haven't seen any reports that that has actually happened. They did also have to issue a recall for their battery electric trucks because of a few fires that happened at their headquarters. They recalled all 209 trucks that had been delivered so far. One of the main downsides of going with the fuel cell electric truck right now is that there are not that many hydrogen fuel stations. That is something that Nikola knows, and this article from Forbes says that they aim to build hydrogen stations and creating their own hydrogen supply. I gotta imagine that's gonna be very similar to the way that Tesla did it. They created an entire electric highway just for their own cars. So it would be a really good idea for Nikola to do the same thing, and they could really own the hydrogen market. But other than a few articles saying that they want to do it, I don't see anything that says that they have started it or even have broken ground on anything yet. So now all we have left is to just wait and see what happens. Trevor is scheduled to be sentenced on November 28th of this year. That's in a couple of days as of recording this, especially when your founder is convicted of fraud. Thank you for watching. I know this video was a little bit different than what I normally make. I normally build lights and show the process of that, but this is a topic that has really interested me as a business owner, especially an automotive business owner. I want to learn as much as possible, and a business that was somehow able to be worth more than fiat at one point without having one single vehicle is fascinating, and then obviously all of the drama that surrounded it after is pretty fascinating as well. So I just really wanted to do a video on it, wanted to mix it up a little bit. If you're still watching, I really appreciate it. And if you have any other automotive fraud cases that you want me to cover, or if you just know of any, I would love to learn more about it.